your business as well. And then I would say probably the number 3 is we do marketing and social media for businesses as well. So last week, how many people were here not here, but at the last luncheon? Okay, I promise I'm gonna ask a question that you've heard before, okay? But I promise it has another outcome, okay? So you will not get the same thing again, okay? So the question that I have is, what is the worst thing that can happen in your business right now? That's what I asked last week to about 20 of the brightest in the Franklin area. So I'm gonna ask you the same thing, but again, a different outcome, right? So I'm gonna ask all of you to kind of think that through for just a second. What is the worst possible thing that could happen to your business right now? And I'm gonna start with you. Is it Regina?
Yeah.
Regina?
Yeah.
Regina, you wanna start with for us?
That someone ordered something and it didn't get there from the company.
So it wasn't delivered on time, delivered at all?
Yeah.
Okay, right, okay. Keep going. We're gonna go around the table. What is the worst thing that could happen to your business right now?
I would say stop growing.
Yeah. It's amazing how everything's a little bit different from one place to the other. So keep going, Jim.
Economy, interest rates move up 1%.
Okay, but that's kind of like out of your control. I mean,
Yeah.
which that would be the worst thing that could happen. But how about for you? What would be the worst thing that could happen to you personally?
Health, not able to work,
Mhm.
not able to perform.
Me not to meet my goals and get fired.
Now that would be bad.
Not that I'm worried about it or anything.
Okay. So, boy, you were not in here.
No, I was playing ballet.
But you were here last time.
Yes.
So I'm asking the same
The
question.
worst thing that could possibly happen to me is me lose your phone number. That's the worst thing that can happen.
He knows how to butter me up. Okay. How about you, ma'am?
For me, it would be for someone to quit.
Oh, yeah, that's tough right there. When you have invested time and energy and focus and a lot of sweat equity into someone and then they leave, that's harmful, yes. Okay.
Probably another recession.
Yes.
Another recession. I made it through one recession with my company, and probably another recession would probably do me under.
Yeah, that is something that's a prayer for me as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for everyone at this table that doesn't happen. I was in real estate when that happened, and so for real estate, that was like the worst thing. And then, so yeah, go ahead, sir.
I would say prospects or clients probably just going AWOL, not being able to reach those people.
Okay.
Not generating enough new clients.
Generation of clients, and then trying to figure out how you can stretch out the other clients, right? Yes.
Which leads into not being able to pay the bills.
And that would be the worst, right? If you couldn't pay your employees. Yeah, I Girl Friday, and I have a couple of employees, and that is, at first, when I first started, it was just me. But when you start to have employees and stuff like that, that is an absolute terror. It's like every month you're like, okay, do I have enough to do all the things that need to happen? So yes, go ahead.
Regulatory environment.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that. What do you mean?
So in the space of short-term rental property,
Okay.
Metro,
Oh yes.
there's been, it's been a little touch and go for
Yeah.
some time, and if that turned, and that could have a negative impact.
Okay. How about you, sir?
I would say running out of inventory to buy, depending on the market that we're in.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be awful if you have the customers and don't have the supply? That would be awful. Michael?
I think turnover as well, what you touched over there, losing your employees, but even worse, I think, would be telling your employees that their benefits went up 30% year to year.
And yet they would want to put you on a stake right about then. Okay, ma'am?
Mine would be not continuing to, get more clients, on a regular basis and to build the business up to where I want it to be and to make it sustainable.
Okay. Okay. All of those are really good ones. And last time, to all the people that were here before, what was the thing that I said was the worst thing that could happen to you in your business? What was the last? What did I talk about?
Giving up.
You can't give up, right? I mean, you're in there, you're knee deep. Some of us are treading, some of us are underneath the water trying to continue to come up. But at the end of the day, you can't give up. But number two, now I'm gonna go to the next thing. The worst thing that you could do in your business, now this is just my humble opinion, okay, but who am I, is to work harder and not smarter. Now, I'm gonna take that into a different place, but I want you to think about that as you're working, you're doing the things that you need to do, but if you're not being strategic about the things that you're doing, what begins to happen? Okay, that's not a...
Focus and you run down all the different rabbit trails.
The rabbit trails, right? You run pass through in, you get into these rabbit trails of things that you're supposed to be doing, but you're not strategic about what you're doing. And so tell me, what are the pitfalls of that?
Being overwhelmed or?
Overwhelmed? What else?
Not a true focus on one thing.
That's right. And then so if you don't have a true focus on the things that you're supposed to be doing, what happens to your business? What happens to the business? It slows down, it falls apart, there is no purpose, there is no whatever, and you find yourself going crazy, right? So the first step is that you have to be strategic. That means that whenever an idea comes and an idea goes, you're doing what? You're putting the ideas out there and you're thinking through what you're doing. Secondly, you need to think strategically. You can't just take on something and do something and go around the rabbit trail. You have to make sure that you're strategic in all that you do. And then number three is you have to act strategically. So you come up with a plan, you have to do what with the plan? Execute the plan. So let me ask you a question. Here's another question. And it's just for you to think about it. Do you feel that you have some things that are up in the air right now that you're not being strategic in your business? That can make, in the next 60 to 90 days, if you don't confront it, if you don't do it, if you don't really push yourself, that you will find yourself possibly out of business? Is there something that you need to face right now in your business? What is it? Write it down. Think about it, put it in your phone, because that is the thing. Everything that you said to me just a couple minutes ago when you were talking to me was that there are all these different things that could possibly be the end of your business, but we're not completely strategic about those things that are in our business. Remember last time when I was talking to the people that were here, I mentioned that you have to face things head on. You can't just be someone who things are happening, you know that it's there, but you have the gremlin there, but then you don't handle it. Number one. Number two is there are times when you find yourself not having the hard conversations that you have to have with your employees, the hard conversations that you have to have with your clients. I have had 3 hard conversations with my clients over the past couple of days. And it has been torture, but it had to be done. We had to have a conversation. We had to get in sync and know where we're going. We had to and then we had to decide if we wanted to still do business together. There are times when it's not worth it. And you're spending all of this time, you're putting all this energy, you're putting all of this focus into something, and it's never gonna go anywhere because you're not aligned together. And so there are gonna be times when you're gonna have to say, okay, it is okay to let go, because as I continue to move forward, is not gonna go anywhere. So the last one is plan and execute. How many times do we plan out something? We say we're gonna do it, by God, we're gonna do it, and we don't do it. How many people are dealing with that today? You have a plan, you've thought it through, you've been strategic, and you haven't put it to action. Okay, Regina, are you laughing over there?
No, I'm getting what.
Because we do that, right?
Over here. And put your heels on.
I don't use flats earlier. I was like, oh, should I? Okay, anyway, okay, back to what I was saying. Working smarter and not harder means that you're looking at efficiencies in your business. And you're saying, am I being efficient with what I'm doing? How much time do I have left?
You're about done.
I'm about done. Okay, I'm looking at my business in a different way. I'm looking at processes and procedures. I'm looking at what I'm doing, and does it make sense? Because what happens is if you were to look at it and work smarter, you can make decisions much faster if you should continue on the path that you're going. You'll see mistakes, you'll see some of the issues, you'll see things early if you're thinking about, I do not want to work hard anymore. I want to be focused. I want to put my energy into a focused activity. So, what is the thing that you need to focus on today? All the different things that you said is what you're experiencing or what you don't want to experience. But how do you put the things in place that will prevent those things from happening? That's what I challenge you to go back to your home, to your office, and figure out is how do you take the things that you voiced to me and make sure they never happen. That is how you work smarter and not harder. Thank you so much.